here, also known as Seahawks Prime. This is the Seahawks Times, and we're going to have a little morning coffee and a football chat. If you want to join me right now, that'd be great. What's up, Yoda? Welcome, man. How you feeling? I hope everything's good with you.
The force is strong.
Yoda, what's going on? Big Seahawks fan, obviously. I see you on lots of different Seahawks channels. And I just want to talk a little bit about the week leading up here. What Seattle has to do to get right for this game coming up here. And what Seattle, I feel, really has to do is just get back to basics. Go Hawks, get back to fundamental football. The run fits were terrible against the Niners. The run fits, the pre-snap calls to stop the run were just horrible. Let alone the tackling. The tackling is one thing. I know there's a big emphasis on Seattle is not tackling properly, but it's how do you set up pre-snap to stop outside run? You're playing a team that's going to try to run on you, and I think that the Falcons lack, of course, what the Niners had in the run game. Even though Elijah Mitchell was out, the Falcons have Cordarrelle Patterson. They also have. Algier, I think his name is. They got a nice young player who can catch out of the backfield, and Mariota can run. So I think the Falcons will try to keep that game on the ground because Drake London, Kyle Pitts, awesome talents, but very young. I think that doesn't threaten Seattle as much as the Niners even did with just Ayuk and Samuel, even with Ross Dwelly. So in this game upcoming, can the Seattle Seahawks, have the right pre-snap reads, the right play calls on defense to contain any sort of escape of not Murray, pardon me, of Mariota himself? Can they get Kyle Pitts manned up properly and take care of Drake London? If they can do those three things defensively, they should be able to get this game in check here. Um, with our run game, let's run the ball outside a little bit. Let's get some more zone running. Let's pull some guards, and let's get Rashad Penny the ball going, and Ken Walker as well. Yoda says the Hawks will always give me false hope when they make me think that they can come back, which is kind of what happened against the Niners. I think they beat the Falcons, though. Correct. Um, I think we're just still a better team than the Falcons. I'm not saying the Falcons cannot come and pull an upset against the Seattle Seahawks, but I do believe that that's a whole different beast. I didn't have a lot of hope that Seattle would come back to win that game, bearing in mind that Gino and company haven't scored a touchdown for over 6 quarters, let alone a field goal. So I think going down at the half, the turnovers were critical. Specifically, the drop from Tyler Lockett. Not that drop, but that terrible play in which Crawford ran into him or was pushed into him. That was really bad. And I think at that point in time, after they scored there, we were out of reach, bearing in the firepower that our offense currently has or is displaying. But this is a great game to get right. You get back to home. The field is going to be crazy. People are going to be insane for this game. Good morning. How are you doing today, man? Good to see you, football 253, my guy. Let's get the crowd into this game. But more importantly, let's utilize DK Metcalf. Let's get him some nice looks. They don't all have to be deep, crazy throws. Like we don't have Russell Wilson, but just some nice intermediate 15 to 22-yard throws that he can try to catch on the go and get some yak and get himself going. I want to see a 90+ yard game from DK Metcalf with 7 to 10 catches. We got to get that stuff going. Even if it's Tyler, that's fine. But I do believe, like I saw it, and I was listening to, I was watching Brandon and Brandon last night. Those guys are really good. They're really analytical. And the Hawksnest, he was saying like, you know, it's more about the fact that they're not even trying. You know what I mean? They're not trying outside run. They're not trying to get DK the ball. That is what's really frustrating. You can quantify. We watched the All 22, and this is the Niners D line. A top two, top one D line in the NFL. Of course, Gino's not going to have a world of time, but I did see him take 3 and 5 step drops, wait too long. Just sling it, man. We're down by whatever. You know what I mean? Just let it happen. Let it fly. Let's get these guys some confidence. We have 2 of the best receivers in the National Football League on our team. That cannot be overlooked. Who's a better duo, Chase and Higgins? You know what I mean? Mike Evans and Godwin when they're healthy. I mean, you could go there, but outside of that, we got the best guys, in the game, straight up, man, and the tight ends. Like goodness, man. But you guys know exactly what it is. We don't have to get into the monotony. We can talk about what's developing here, positives and negatives within our team structure. Um, what do you guys want to break it down? Do you think Pete is in his last year? You know what? If we have like a really, really terrible season and it's really embarrassing and there's no progress, it's not about just the wins or loss record. It's about if we have a year where there's no development, there's no progress, I could see Pete saying, "Look, I'm going to hand the reins over to Desai right now." But if there's positive development, the young players are growing, and there's some signs of life, not just life, but real progress. I don't think Pete will pack it in. I think he wants to play to be like the oldest coach to play with a record as such too. That'd be quite an achievement. Yeah, and I'm really like I love Pete like as a family member at this point in time, and I'm not in a delusion about Carroll's limitations and stubbornness or anything like that. But I've been following him his whole career. Well, not his whole career because he's been playing older than me. Pick a VR trader. Okay, I'll get into that free agency question in a minute. I want to continue on Carroll. What I feel is that he's just a good person. He generates a great culture. He brings kids up. He when he was recruiting UFC, he was not afraid to go into really poor areas, ghetto areas, and really uplift guys and their families. So that's good. Who do you think has more potential, Kobe or Woolen? Well, obviously Woolen has the more upside because of his physical ability, and I think just his tenacity and fearless so far. But Kobe can be a good player too. I'm not out on him, but Woolen just obviously a freak. Hold on, he's still talking about. Hold on, yeah. So, anyways, it's all good. No, those are all good questions. With regards to Pete, yeah, just like I love what he's done. He's a legendary coach, and I think he just needs to maybe let the younger, modern coaches, take the reins a little bit more and put some trust in them if that's not happening already. No, you're good. Fire away. In free agency. It's too early to tell. I could see them going after another receiver. Um, I'm going to highlight a couple players I really want them to get in the draft here that are not quarterbacks in a video I hopefully fill today. But that's a good question. I haven't really looked in deep into who is a free agent next season. I think a lot of it depends on what their plan is with QB and what they want to do. We need some defensive tackle push. We need some help there. So I think we'll draft there to get three tech or no somebody who can really push the pile and get to the quarterback inside. Um, that would be big. If Daryl Taylor doesn't come around, we're going to be looking for an edge that can, DT obviously might just become a pass rusher, but we're going to be looking for somebody that can really set the edge, set the tone to stop the run off the edge. So, there's going to be a lot of people that this is a very weird year in the NFL. So I think a lot of players are going to want to jump ship from their team. And if they see that Seattle has got a QB in the midst or have drafted really high at KJ Jefferson, Levis, the names, they're going to be like, maybe I'll go over to Seattle. They're up and coming. So you get that like kind of upstart player looking for a second contract, like a Nwosu type guy. I think our defense will be good again at the end of the year. Like, yeah, I think they're just super young, like specifically in the secondary. If we can get our hands on the rock and start generating some more turnovers, that will really feed things. We're on the field too much. You know what I mean? And like Nichenna Nwosu, these guys are on the field like 70-80% of the snaps, if not more. So they're really tired. And like we've got some really good young players, man. I'm not worried about the defensive side of the ball. And I think the question mark was how will your offense operate when Russell Wilson leaves? And Russ was on the decline when he was leaving here, but he knew the system, he knew how it worked, and he was able to make touchdowns with deep throws, and that's what we're lacking right now. So I think it's just natural progression. Jamal seems to always get here. Yeah, Jamal, a safety, absolutely. They will be looking for a safety that can hit and play in the box. I think via draft, there's a couple guys I like in the draft, but safety is kind of a good position to target in free agency. So maybe that's a good video. Maybe I'll do a video on which safeties they'll target to replace Jamal Adams in the draft and in free agency. Jamal, he just plays with so much fire, and yeah, he always seems to be banged up a little bit, and that's just normal. But yeah, ultimately, let's see what happens there, man. It's going to be a really, really interesting year here. It's only week two. Um, a lot of people have the skies falling mentality around Seattle. I think we're just getting going, man. Seahawks prime. What is the prediction for the Hawks win-loss record? You know what? Somehow, some way, I have the Hawks winning 9 games this year, just based on the fact that the NFC is pretty weak to me. That's okay. So no, that'd be too many games at 8 and 11. There's you'd have to have 6 and 11 because there's 17 games. But that's okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, perfect, man. Yeah, so 6 and 11. That's fair. That's totally fair to think that. I mean, playing those AFC West teams, you have to have a hard time thinking we're gonna beat the KC Chiefs or you know. But yeah, I got 9 games because here's my theory, and I've had that theory going into the year is that we're gonna start late, and that Denver win just was so monumental. I expected us to lose to SF, but if we get our feet going, guys, let's talk about this. We get our feet going, we get our run game going. I know Ken didn't get it break a lot of yards, but you could see he was making something out of nothing, man. Once we're not playing Nick Bosa and Armstead and those guys, once we're playing like wait till you see us against the Falcons, we might just trash those guys, and then the narrative spins. You know what I mean? So just remember, every season the Seahawks kind of start off a little bit this and that. If we get hot, it's still Seahawks football, man. We go nuts. Yeah, the Rams don't look as good. Yeah, it's the Rams. Like, the Rams are still, quite dominant roster wise compared to us. Kenneth Walker is going to be a star. I had a lot of people trashing him in the comments. It's like, stop just looking at statistics. This is what I'm going to say. Stop only looking at stats when you analyze football players. You need to watch the games. You need to watch them. If Ken Walker had any semblance of a block going, and he's a better outside runner, but if he had any semblance of a block, he's gonna be out, man. He's so fast, he's so good, and he's still coming off of a hernia surgery. You could see when they got banged and they were punching at him and trying to get at him. He's tough. So Ken Walker the third, I keep calling Junior, is a steal, man. He's gonna be awesome. Penny is still awesome. Let's just bounce these guys outside. Let's use this Atlanta Falcons game to establish a dominant run presence. We're number 31 in the league right now in run, which is ridiculous. Let's get Jake Curran at guard. Let's sit Gabe Jackson. It's time to sit him. Let's get Curran at right. Let's get Abe going and just bulldoze people. Agreed. You need to watch the games. Yeah, exactly. You can't tell enough without watching. The Rams have declined and they're on the decline. They have more money left. Yeah, that happens when you buy a team. You get into a win now window. They still got Cup, amazing. They got Jalen in them, but eventually the players around want to get paid. And we saw this happen with the Seahawks. You know what I mean? So this would be the year that the Rams have to repeat, in my opinion, or else the decline comes. Also, just by age, Matt Stafford getting older, Aaron Donald getting older in his cast. So the Rams did an amazing job of building that team and winning the Super Bowl. Their mission was accomplished, but for the longevity and dynasty play, they have so many players that they've paid to be there. It wasn't an organic build per se, so I don't think they can do what the Pats did or anything like that. But you guys let me know your thoughts on that. That's a very interesting topic, actually. But yeah, keep it coming. Let's go. Let's go while I'm here. I'm trying to go to my either my phone overheats or I get timed out. One of these times you should do a live stream at one of the games. Yo, for real, I'm going to, man. Hey, I'm gonna do a live stream at one of the games this year. Maybe the Panthers game, December 11th. That sounds fun to me just because it's a random game. Maybe I'll go live from the tailgate. We'll do like an all day thing. What do you guys think about that? Would that be a cool thing? I could get with all my friends, and I got some really awesome friends and family that I go to the games with. And we tailgate, talk to some people from Carolina, and then go into the game and really just get into it together, man. That'd be so fun. And something I kind of had targeted anyway. Yeah, the Panthers game, right? It's feisty. We're two kind of teams in a similar type of boat. Um, I don't have McCaffrey, but it'd be an interesting time because December 11th is just a time where not people aren't doing too much. It's pre-Christmas. As a Hawks fan, it's crazy that I want the Niners to beat the Broncos this Sunday. Anytime we're rooting for the Niners, something feels off in the force. You know what I mean? But absolutely, I do want we do want the Niners to beat the Broncos because we want that playoff position, or I mean that draft pick. This is off topic, but you guys Mariners fans also, yeah, I'm actually this is going to be weird for you guys. I'm a Padres fan, sadly. Yeah, because my football commitment has always been Seattle because I'm from, born in the Northwest, but growing up in San Diego, I've been into the Padres, sadly, which is a really hard thing to do. Sorry, I missed your comment there. Let me see what that was. I watch live reactions because it makes me feel like there's just as much excitement when we score. For sure, man. Awesome. But yeah, I love the Mariners, what they're doing. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is to me, like, he's like the best player in the game. Like, he's so amazing to watch. Like, Julio is just so cool too, man. Like, even before he blew up this year, you'd see the vlogs on Julio. He's like out shopping for shoes, and he's such a cool guy. He's like, look, man, these are really nice shoes, man. He's so nice. Like you gotta root for him. Shout out to Mariners. Anyways, back to football. I just think, Boye Mafe. I want to talk about that. Boye Mafe looked good in the game. Watching that again, he was really good at tackling in the run, which was a knock on him coming out of Minnesota. But Boye Mafe is another steal. Kobe doesn't look as bad as the PFF. Said Kobe was around the ball, but these guys are getting flagged for ticky tacky stuff, and it's easy for zebras to target young corners and stuff because they're going to be like, you're not a vet, you don't deserve that call yet. That cannot be unspoken. Mike Jackson, does he really deserve all those PI calls, especially the one he was running up the sideline on Brandon Ayuk? Like, that's natural hand fighting. He's not impeding his progress, gets his head around, and they call a flag. Like, two of those actually were garbage to me. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to say that these were, the reason we lost, but they were a factor. Could Jordan Brooks possibly be another Bobby Wagner, or will Bobby always be a replay? Bobby will always be Bobby himself. Bobby is a different creature, a different beast. But Jordan Brooks can be his own thing. He's having a hard time without the D-line getting pushed right now. They're not getting any push, so he's getting hit at the second level by tight ends and by guards and stuff. But Jordan can be great. He just needs support there. He needs push up front. He's not as big as Bobby, so he can't shed, guards and stuff like that. But he needs to find his legs again and be the end-to-end linebacker that he can be, and be more aggressive at shooting the gaps and getting to the LOS. And I think we'll get back to that nature here in week 3. So yeah, that's going to be super interesting. What else do we got, guys? Y'all let me know. If not, I'm just going to keep ranting about what I think is going to happen this upcoming week. Whereas the Atlanta Falcons coming in, they're a bit of a disaster team right now, but they have good coaching, I think. They just they have a lot of holes in their roster. Kyle Pitts is very scary. Kyle Pitts one-on-one versus even Quandre Diggs kind of frightens me because I know they're going to try us with them. But we just got to be sound. We got to get to the QB. We got to get pressure. I think Brooks is going to be fine, have the same year he has last year. Yeah, or maybe a little downturn in terms of tackles, but he just got to get comfortable and just be himself. He just got to be himself, guys. There's a lot of players here playing out of their element, learning a new type of defense. He just got to be himself and not be afraid to just go nuts, just play ball. Because Carroll teams, they do their best when they just freak out and play ball and get hyped. I'm sure that's what they and then the practices they seem to always have that kind of energy. It's about bringing energy when you're a young team specifically. What if you did the collaboration with the other Seahawks? Yeah, I definitely will. And you know what? I'll be honest. I haven't reached out to a lot of people because I want this channel to grow organically. But I saw Norb yesterday. I was watching what's his name, Steezy A. Smith. I just tuned in there, and that Norb guy is super cool, man. He's got awesome energy. I definitely got to do something with that dude at some point in time. Yeah, that Norb guy is dope, man. Steezy A. Smith, Brandon, Hawks Nest. Who else is out there, man? There's so many cool YouTubers for the Seahawks. Even Rob Grumpy Stanton, man, that guy's awesome too, man. He knows a lot about football, as kind of negative Nancy as he could be sometimes. He's really cool at analyzing the draft and stuff like that. He's really adept, knows his X's and O's. Those boys, Maddie Brown and those guys, I want to do their podcast. I want to hook up with everybody in terms of YouTube there and just do not just to grow my channel, but because I love football. I love the discussion. So let's see what happens. Hey, if you think I deserve more subscribers, go tell people. Yeah, you know what I mean. Go tell people about my channel because you guys enjoy it, right? So it's not about deserving; it's about putting in the work and the time so people see your channel. I know the channel is cool and it's good and it's different, but that's why I'm trying to do these streams and grow it. It's not just monetary for me. This is my passion, and my family was supporting it. Like, look, man, you really love football. You know a lot about it. Why don't you talk about it to everybody else and share your thoughts? I am not the greatest technical football guy. I'm pretty good, but I've never coached. I've never, coached at an NCAA college level. I'm just really into the sport like you guys, and I've learned it over my life here. So, 30 plus years of just really being deep about it for the Seahawks. And I just decided to make it a Seahawks focused channel because, that's what I love talking about the most. Who scares you for the Falcons, guys? Drake London, looking kind of creepy, but I don't know. He's just a rookie. Yeah, so your parents are like probably correct. They're like, why are you talking to us about this? Why don't you go talk to the world about it? Uh, yeah, for sure, man. So actually, you'll be happy to know there. Yeah, man, I'm all about you. You'll be happy to know there who just said I should get a setup. That I got one that's getting started at home with some cool neon lights and proper setup. You're gonna really like it. It's gonna look cool. We're gonna have a cool atmosphere to do the lives. I'll be doing the lives in the evening, trying not to cross up with the other people. And we're gonna go over topics. We're gonna talk about football in general. It's just gonna be a safe forum. No hatred will be tolerated. None of that stuff. It's always going to be positivity with me because I want people to feel good when they watch it. I do have a Discord, Yoda Soda. I have my Discord's available through my Patreon. My Patreon I have going for $6 a month, and then we Discord through that. Links are in the description of my video. So the Patreon, you'll also get my exclusive articles that I write about football on the Patreon, and then we have Discord in there. Got a couple members so far. It is what it is. Um, let's see what the question is here. Sorry, I got to go back to that. Kind of off topic. Do you think Lamar will get MVP? If he keeps playing like this, yes. I mean, I just saw a meme. Lamar Jackson's like 44 and 18, and Josh Allen is 42 and 22 or something. And they say Lamar isn't a baller. Like the playoff games haven't been there. What type of weapons do they put around Lamar Jackson? They never do. Mark Andrew is good, but come on, man. Like imagine Lamar Jackson had Stephon Diggs and these guys. No, this is no shot at Josh Allen or the Bills. It's just like Lamar Jackson is the weapon. He should win MVP if he balls out like he did. Even in that loss against Miami, he was insane. Like he's the first quarterback ever to have 75-yard touchdown running and a 75-yard throwing TD. Lamar Jackson's just crazy. Bateman's cool for sure. Dolphins play good. Tua, yeah, Tua will not win the MVP because it's not sustainable, that type of game. They don't want to play that type of game. You know what I mean? Bateman. Russ is a little bit on the downstroke. Um, Here's why I'll tell you Russ is on the downstroke, and that's just due to age. I watched the NFC Championship game 2014 versus the Green Bay Packers yesterday on replay because I love that game. Russ, if you watch that game, go watch that on YouTube after this. Him in the pocket is super spry. He's jumpy. He's quick. The ball's coming out fast. He's just slinging. I know he's got a better team, but age kills, man. It is what it is. Trust me. Once you get up there, you can't bounce around the same way, and NFL takes its toll. This is no shade on Russ, but he's not able to escape and get those TDs or those first downs with his legs anymore. That takes away a lot of his value. This is why Seattle didn't pay him because in our offense, we need to be able to have somebody that can still be a little bit more mobile, and that is kind of left Russ. Yeah, the old Hawks. To you, maybe the old Hawks. To me, the old Hawks is like Zorn in them, but the prime Hawks, the most recent prime, Russell Wilson and Carroll era was amazing. When you look back at the lineup that was on that team, they just have insane players. Did you listen to the Sherman Wright podcast? I haven't yet. I saw it pop up. I can't wait to listen to it. KJ is an awesome commentator, man. He's getting really good. Sherm's finding his legs as a podcaster, obviously a brilliant football mind. So I will check that out after this live stream. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens not only this year but next year. The Seahawks are in a state of flux in which they had one fantastic draft this last draft. I believe they've got 5 to 6 starting players to borderline star players out of this draft with the capital they got from Denver. And if Denver keeps sucking, and Nathaniel Hackett keeps being Nathaniel Hackett, let alone Russell Wilson, um, can you imagine if we have a top 10 pick, plus another pick? It's going to be really good for us. Who do you think the most valuable Hawks player? Yoda so says, who do you think is the most valuable Hawks player right now? Um, yeah, I'll check that podcast for sure, brother. The most valuable Hawks player over 2 games, Chenna Nwosu. Um, you pick up this guy on a pretty easy contract, and he looks like one of the best outside linebackers in the league right now. So for sure, he's playing out of his tree. You know what I mean? Like Uchenna Nwosu for sure is the MVP right now. Outside of that, I'm like, for the young guys, I'm gonna say Tariq Woolen. For the rookies, Tariq Woolen, or maybe even Abe Lucas. He's just been crazy strong, Abe Lucas. Like, haven't been able to get by this guy. And there was people suspect about his play and his ability to do this and that. But Abe Lucas, it looks like one of the best right tackles in the NFL in his first year. If we had the number 2 pick overall, do you think we go QB or edge? Also, I would keep Adams for. Yeah, it's not Adams last year. I really thought about it. You've paid him already. Why not keep Adams? You know what I mean? It is what it is. If he can run. Do we take QB or edge? It depends on the draft position. You know what I mean? So, you got your CJ Stroud, you've got your Will Levis, you got those guys. But if you get a really high pick because of Denver, you're not going to reach for a QB. So later today, I will release a video of 5 players I believe that the Seattle Seahawks may take above a quarterback. But yeah, and you probably know the names. Will Anderson, if he's there. Those types of guys, Pete will absolutely take a marquee SEC edge rusher or defensive tackle over a quarterback, because this quarterback class is not as crazy as people think it is. Also, it seems like the Hawks always have to try to find a diamond in the rough. Sorry, let me get back to that comment. If this time's out, guys, I'm sorry due to it overheating. Also, if the Hawks, sorry, Yoda Soda. Also, it seems like the Hawks are always trying to find a diamond in the rough. For example, LJ Collier was a bust, but Jordy, yes, that's what makes Pete Carroll so amazing. You know what I mean? That's what makes him crazy, is because we hate the fact that him and Schneider picked these guys. You're like, why? Why did you take LJ Collier? Why did you take D. Eskridge? Why did you take Chris Harper? Why? And then on the flip side of that, you're like, Richard Sherman is in the Hall of Fame. Cam Chancellor, Hall of Fame. Russell Wilson, Hall of Fame. Bobby Wagner, Hall of Fame. Why? That's why. Because if you have the ability to have the caljones, the ball sacks, the King Kong ovaries, if you're a lady, to take these players, they could turn out to be extra special players that make the Hall of Fame and win you Super Bowls. Anyways, you're looking at free agency next year, or who is someone you trade for someone? Yeah. I haven't done a lot of deep diving, man, but I think safety would be a good look for us. I like our corner situation. We can always find secondary, so I don't know if we pay at safety. It's definitely someone on the D line, and I haven't decided. Video to come. You get lots of. This is why I love having these conversations. I want to know what you guys want to see in terms of videos. So, what do we need to do in free agency? Excellent. Who are some players that we will take before a quarterback in this upcoming draft if we feel that they're more of a powerful impact on our team? And what do we got to do as the Seahawks moving forward to really be dominant quick, so this is not like a full 2 to 4 year rebuild, because we obviously have some amazing pieces right now, and we have a good young coaching staff behind Pete Carroll. Sean Desai is a really, really smart mind. He's kind of in the upstairs right now. He's good. Waldron, I'm 50-50 on. We don't really know yet until this season ends. We'll know what we need to know about Waldron, but Carl Scott, a really good secondary coach, and Clint Hurt, despite how terrible last game was, Clint Hurt is creative, and he won't go the whole season like Ken Norton did doing the same things. He'll at least analyze what happened there, make adjustments, and we'll look totally different the next time we play the Niners. And I like that about Clint Hurtt. So, the reins, I think we're in better shape than people think. Whether we're gearing up this team to be sold, in the will, in the Allen will, it doesn't really matter. See, the Seahawks are going nowhere. We have a winning culture established. I would like to thank Holmgren for that. I'd like to thank Carroll for that. I'd like to thank Steve Largent for that. I'd like to thank Cortez Kennedy, Sean Alexander, Walter Jones. It took us a long time to find our legs as an organization, but we have the best fan base in the NFL. We have some of the best culture in the NFL, and we're really unique. Seattle Seahawks fans are everywhere, man. It doesn't just span one city. I think we will know what we need to know about Waldron when Week 8 hits. Football 253 says we will just need to stop being conservative. It's true. If this isn't going to work, this dink and dunk kind of like just play safe stuff, that's kind of what we're used to the last few years. We want to be able to see some high flying, energetic plays that are not headed by the arm of DJ Dallas. If we lose to the Falcons and the Lions, I don't think, the Lions could easily mop us because they're just a really good team. The Lions are a better team than us. You know what I mean? They have players everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And established players. So don't worry about losing to the Lions because they're like borderline a contender this year. The Falcons, we do have to beat. If we don't beat the Falcons, we're not what we are hoping to be at this stage. The barometer is a team like Falcons coming into your gym. They're going to try to get freaky, wild, and crazy. Can you just mop those guys? I want to beat up the Falcons. I don't want to just beat the Falcons. I want to get back to business against the Falcons and then get scary against the Lions, even if we don't win. This year isn't all about wins and losses. Yeah, I'm high on the Lions. I have them winning 10 plus games. Drew Lock will not start next week. The passing percentage of Geno Smith is 80 plus. Everybody hits me that in the comments. They're like, Wes, you hate Geno. I don't hate Geno, man. He's just not scoring TDs. Everybody loves the Lions. It's impossible to hate them. How can you hate them? It's like hating the Jets. It's like hating somebody who's kicking someone when they're down. They don't do anyone any wrong. I don't really know what to think about that outside of the fact that Detroit is just, they have an awesome coaching staff. I love Dan Campbell. St. Brown is such a cool player to watch. DeAndre Swift, they drafted well. They have Jameson Williams just waiting in the wings. When that guy comes into that offense, man, watch out, man. That's a lot of players, man. DJ Shark, Jameson Williams, freaking TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. Man, those boys are crazy out there, man. Cephas, they got all sorts of stuff. And a crazy O-line with Sewell and those guys, Ragno. The only real negative is Jared Goff, but Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl with, I think, an actual lesser, well, no, Aaron Donald's crazy, but overall roster. I've been seeing a spot of Insta said worse. So let me see this Geno stuff. Let me see here. It's not that I don't like Geno Smith. Yeah, seen a post on Insta that said worst QBs right now, Geno was on it. Do you think Metcalf will be part? Yoda says Seahawks after the contract ends. First, I'll address the Geno Smith thing. I want to talk about my clarity on Geno Smith. You guys know I've been wanting Drew to play because I just don't. This is a business kind of thing. I don't see the upside in Geno Smith. If Drew goes crazy, at least he has some trade. The ability to trade him for something. People know what Geno is. Or if Garoppolo can't find a job outside of his own team, how is Geno? You know what I mean? So that's just business to me. In a year, I don't think we're winning a Super Bowl. Geno is really controlling the offense in an okay way. The completion percentage is very high. But check it out, man. If I play pitch and catch 5 yards to one of the best receivers in history, and it's all under the sticks, I'm gonna hit a team for 65-yard completion percentage. Pro like Geno will do 80, but scoring is different, and that's my knock here. Can we throw TDs to win games? Geno, it's your time against the Falcons, and if I don't think he gets it done against the Falcons, you may see Drew get some snaps here. And I'm not voting against Geno. He's an awesome guy, man. I love the guy. If the deep ball doesn't work, Lock, yeah. So that's the thing, and the excitement factor. Just how exciting is it to just go 195 and no TDs? It's not. I'd rather go 350 yards, 3 TDs, 2 picks, and have a chance to win a football game. Come on, man. Metcalf will only be here after his second contract if the team is doing well. So unless the team is in a position to go and get accolades and championships, Metcalf will leave because he's a competitor. He wants to be great. But Metcalf is also extremely loyal. So I don't know for sure. He might take that route of like Larry Fitzgerald. If he doesn't feel the trajectory is better anywhere else, he'll just be one of the greatest of all time, period. I don't take anything away from Larry Fitzgerald for not winning a Super Bowl, or Randy Moss. Those guys are the best of the best, you know what I mean? And it's, sometimes you get to the dance and sometimes you don't. You know, Julio Jones left recently to get there, but all likelihood he is here because we find a quarterback in one of these next couple drafts, or we pay Lamar Jackson. Oh my God! Can y'all imagine the mayhem that would ensue if Seattle's like, well, we just signed Lamar Jackson for $300 million. I think that's scary too because Lamar won't be able to be doing that forever, but that would be absolutely insane. I would freak myself. I wouldn't pretend I wouldn't be pumped. But yeah, that's very interesting. Metcalf in his second contract. Let's hope so. I'm not worried about these first two games. If Gino continues not to get the ball in Metcalf's hands, then I see Drew Lock coming in the future. Yeah, what if? Yeah, as Seahawks fans, it sounds crazy, but we might, which will scare people. It would scare people so bad. Imagine read option with Ken Walker, Lamar Jackson, freaking DK Metcalf. Oh my God, man. It's just funny to think about, man. Pete probably is up at night. Carol's probably up at night, like watching Lamar Jackson tape, like with his wife, like, "Come to bed, honey." Pete's like, "No, I'm not going to bed. I'm gonna do it, honey. I'm gonna do it." And calling Jody, like, "What do you think about this?" Yeah. Or you just keep it young. Most teams winning championships are doing it on rookie contracts. You know what I mean? Or getting back there outside of the Stafford thing or Brady. Yeah. Anyways, that would be fun to think about. We need a third receiver. Let's talk about that. D. Eskridge has not been what we wanted him to be because they're not utilizing him at all. Yeah, it'd be the scariest thing of all time. If Lamar Jackson is able to do that with Mark Andrew, who looks like my high school PE coach, and Rashad Bateman, who I'm pretty sure is good, but is he Tyler Lockett? No. If Lamar Jackson can do that with those guys, imagine Lamar Jackson with DK Metcalf rolling out. It makes me want to laugh like a crazy mad scientist, like, oh yes, tried to take over the world, like freaking stuff. Anyways, this is fun, man. If it times out, guys, I'm sorry. But I'm just gonna rock it until it's dead. Not one single super chat for your boy today. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The good thing about what I'm doing here, guys, is I have a good career. I'm not desperate for money. I can do this. I can do this just for fun, man. That's what I love about this, man. I'm doing this stuff just for fun. Yeah. Will Levis, I like. He would be coming out at 24. He's a little kamikaze, but he has a crazy arm. CJ Stroud, man, he looks the part. You know what I mean? But I get Trey Lance vibes from CJ Stroud, so I'm afraid he just snapped his leg and we look like idiots. KJ Jefferson, yeah, he's dope, but I wouldn't take him before I took a marquee pass rusher or something. And then there's other guys, Tyler Van Dyke. Penix, there's so many guys. I can see Seattle just getting a super sturdy pocket passer that has some wheels and just trying to stack up the defense, or, leveraging the farm for Lamar. It is what it is. Yeah, man, keep it coming, guys. Let's keep it rolling. Let me know what y'all want to talk about, man. Let's do it. There's no bad questions here. Um, there's no bad questions, man. This has been a fun live stream. I'm really enjoying these. Bryce Young, I love Bryce Young's game. I just get the feeling that he'll get squashed in the NFC West. You know what I mean? Like, I like seeing guys run around, fly around, and make throws like that. We're used to that. But I kind of want like a more of a GOAT pocket guy. I don't know why it is. Like, I want us to be that offense that just like the dude stands up there, spry in the pocket, sling strike, first down, sling strike, touchdown, not dependent on broken plays, because I just see, like, with the way Burrow is trending and those types of guys, you can't find a Josh Allen everywhere, but someone with a huge arm that has the ability to run, but I want to be able to be more sustainable. And I think I might be underrating Bryce Young potentially, but I gotta look at that deeper. Blake Martinez, I think it's just his speed. You know what I mean? Like he's better than what we have in Barton right now, I believe. Maybe we do look at him, but we looked at three dudes today. I like the guy from KC a little bit, but like I'm ready to like play Tanner Muse out here. You know what I mean? Like let's go. Let's get somebody who can just tackle somebody outside, man. Good point though. Why aren't we looking at Blake? At least he would be able to know what's happening pre-snap. Um, and diagnose. But we're not tackling properly, and that's just fundamentals. Let's see if they can get back to business there. All right, man, I'm rocking it. I'm rocking the live stream. It's the Seahawks Times. It's your boy Wes, aka Seahawktimus Prime. I'm doing this live stream for y'all, doing what I can to share my passion for Seahawks football as much as I can on this on this little network we're starting here. Who's still in here, man? You shout yourself out. We only got 4 heads in here. If we got 4 people and that's all that happens, that's all we need. We all we got. We're in the huddle pre-snap. We all we need. You know what it is. Well, we got 5 in here. Shout yourselves out. Where are you guys from? You know what's going on today. Are you at work? Are you not at work? Are you skipping out of work to watch a live stream of some random Seahawks YouTuber? If so, props to you. Oh man. Yeah, I can't wait. I got to dig more into the draft here. I'm not going to be Rob Stanton level, but I'm going to dig more into the draft here because it's getting interesting now that we've seen a couple games what the holes are with the team and where we can find it. Group in Seattle live in Gilbert, Arizona. Shout outs Gilbert, Arizona. Oh, you grew up in Seattle. Oh, you're in Arizona in the desert. How hot is it today? Yeah, Arizona, very cool state. Obviously, it's going to be hot out there. I'm sure. Big Jersey. Hey, the Bricks. Shout out Brick City. James, how did you become a Seahawks fan living out in the bricks, man? Yeah, working. Rob Grumpy Stanton had me dead. I'm on the web dev. Got you on the background as my work on the laptop. Shout outs to you for working at home. It is what it grumpy. Yeah, Rob Stanton's grumpy, but he's super cool. He's like, listen, if you guys don't tackle, you'll never win a freaking game, innit? If you don't have the ability to get people open underneath zone coverage, how do you expect to beat the San Francisco 49ers? I would have clipped that. That was the best Rob Stanton impression of all time. You guys want me to do other Seahawk YouTuber impressions?